Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we are going to be going through the businesses that I have tried to start and failed at, and kind of what I've learned along the journey from probably when I was around like, I don't know, 16 or so to the point now. That's a fair amount of time. That's like 12 years. So let's get into the video straight away. Make sure you are subscribed with the notifications turned on before we get into the video straight away. Let's get into the video straight away. A lot of you guys will be in the same situation as I was back then, but probably a lot further ahead in terms of the progression. And a lot of you people will be the kind of same age as me and similar sort of things that you want to achieve in life, and have been doing this for a long time. You've been trying to make money, you've been interested in making money for ages. And that, you know, that is me, but it was only until last year that I really figured out how to make money. And I'm going to go through and I'm going to come back to that at the end. But I wrote down a list of the kind of the few points in my life where I tried to start up businesses and failed. And some of them, I'm going to put a disclaimer on, they were probably not businesses, they were just me trying to make money. I had no idea about money. So the first thing I'm going to go back to is my school life. So we're going to talk about secondary school. So I went to a school, it was actually, of all things, it was an all boys school, which of course had its drawbacks. And yeah, it was kind of weird, but whatever. And that was like secondary school, so up until you're, I don't know, like 16, 15, 16, I don't really know, can't remember anymore. But I was trying to kind of do things then, and I was interested in, of all things like BB guns and slingshots and like bangers and stuff like that. So, you know, no one really knows this, but I used to kind of sell those, so I could buy them and I could basically sell them. I didn't do it in like volumes or anything like that, but you know, I'd used one once I kind of like got enough out of it, I would sell it to a friend or stuff like that. And that's not really a business as such, but it kind of, it gave me that thing of, ooh, money. I like money. I like having things to spend on like the tuck shop, or spend on like, you know, something for my bike, you know, little kind of kid stuff. And I just did an interview with someone that's literally 16 and they made like $4 million. So in hindsight, yes, it was just me being silly, and I wish I had known back then what I know now, but really I don't even think YouTube was around back then, and a lot of, like, it was dial-up. All you had was dial-up. Like internet, for those that don't know what that is, it's like not broadband basically, not fiber. Anyway, so I started doing things like that, even things like selling lighters. I know it sounds really weird, but like I didn't smoke or anything. I've never smoked, but I know, you know, people that did and they wanted lighters, so I would do that. You know, things like sweets, things, just little things that kids do in school, right? Little things that teenagers do in school. But what I then started to do was I started to be in a band, and I started to sell music, sell tickets to events. And again, it was very, very low key, like no one really bought my stuff, no one really came to my events. But it was again that hustle of trying to get someone to buy something, creating something like music, which is a passive income source. I didn't know it at the time, but I spent a lot of time creating music, you know, I made a little recording studio at home and things like that. And I spent a lot of time trying to do that, trying to make money with music. It didn't really work. And, you know, I think one of the things that made me a bit of money, which I've later found out is kind of, I'm not going to say it's illegal, okay? So anyway, this may or may not have happened. It may be just a story, or it may have actually happened. So me and one of my friends at the time, I think it was around this kind of 15, 16 age, and we were interested in computers, so like building computers, you know, making, you know, all sorts of stuff using PCs, and like games and things like that. And what we would do is get things like Microsoft Office and like, you know, like I think it was like Windows 98 or XP at the time, or 2000, whatever the hell it was, and basically get them off, I think it was LimeWire of all things, and sell them on eBay. I know this is really, really bad. Again, it may not have even happened, okay? I'm gonna be clear with that. It may not have happened, it may be just a story. But sell them on eBay. So we would allegedly make these like CDs of the software and put them in jiffy bags and send them out to the customers for like £5 each, allegedly. And I made a little bit of money with that, as you can imagine, because people wanted to buy this software, and would even do things like the keys and stuff like that. You could have, allegedly, you could have like software generators for the product keys, so you could actually legitimately use the product. Allegedly. So that was something that actually could or did have made some money, which was quite cool. And then got into actually selling computers. So this was kind of like, to be honest, this was kind of like drop shipping. When I think about it, it's on eBay, we would put up like a finished computer in terms of the tower and everything that's included in it. And then if someone bought it, we would then go to I can't remember what website it was, but buy the parts, make it, and then send it to the customer. I don't really know if many people bought that. I can't remember. Maybe it was like one or two. It was a handful. But again, it taught me about using eBay. Although some of it was maybe not as, you wouldn't get away with it now, but back then, it was Wild West, you could do whatever you want. And it just taught me about making money. It gave me that kind of like, that element of, oh, I really like this, but I have no idea what I'm doing, okay? Cool, so it's fast forward to 6th form right now. So again, that's kind of the 17, 18 bracket. And then I had a recording studio at my home, and I would actually charge people to come, and I would record their band or record whatever, and produce it and give them the product. Again, it didn't make me a lot of money. Like, some people paid me for it. Some like local bands, like my mates and stuff like that, they would pay me for my time and pay me for my recording studio setup. Because at the time I had quite a nice setup, like could have been quite for my age, I guess. And that was something I was really interested in. So I made a bit of money doing that. And then I went to a guitar school, right? I was really interested in playing guitar. So I wanted to go to play guitar for that was my thing. Instead of going to uni, which was my other alternative really, because I don't really have any skills, is I wanted to go to this guitar school. I went to guitar school, learned how to do that, all that sort of stuff, and eventually went to uni. So there was no real kind of work done at that time, nothing entrepreneurial, because I was really focused on basically being a really cool musician. Didn't work, right? I play lots of music, but yeah, I don't make money from it. But now I realize how I could. So I know that if I really wanted to shift everything over to music, I know immediately how I could make money from it, which is wicked. But it got to uni, and for my degree, I did a music technology degree, and it was very, very low time input. I pretty much did nothing for the 3 years, because anything that I did have to do, it felt like a hobby. It was like, record a song, or create this, do that, and it just felt like a hobby, which was really, really cool. I had a great time. I got really drunk and had a wicked time at uni, but it wasn't very productive. And towards I think it was the 3rd year or the 2nd year of uni, I then started my own tuition business for guitar. So I would teach kids guitar. And this actually, it didn't make me a huge amount, but it made me enough to go out and get pissed, like on a Monday night. So I would go and teach kids how to play guitar, like on an individual basis, and some kind of older kids, and some parents as well. I'd teach them guitar as well. So there's one kind of client I had where it was 2 kids and then the dad. So I would teach them, I would give them each a lesson, one after each other. And it made me a little bit of money. I would then go to, another one of my students, and I would go and teach them. And it's really like, that was dropped my phone, guys, right? That was really when I was like, damn, I really like teaching people. Like, this is something that is so rewarding. Excuse me for the notification. It was so rewarding to see like kids. And there was one moment where one of my students was a young girl. She was either in primary school or very, very young in secondary school. And she'd never played guitar before, so I taught her guitar. And bear in mind, I've gone to a professional guitar school. I've learned exactly how to teach guitar, right? Because I've been taught guitar, so I just regurgitated everything that I'd been learned, or everything that I had learned. And she got, quite good at guitar, not quite good, but she got good at guitar very quickly. And, she told me stories of how, her friends were learning how to play guitar, but she'd be able to play it really quickly and a lot better, and teach herself, because I taught her how to teach herself. And that was one of the big things I wanted to go through as part of my kind of service. And she was saying all of her friends would be jealous of her because she was able to play the current songs in the charts. And I was like, that is so rewarding, that someone else has got pleasure out of what you've taught them, what your skill set, and then you've been able to, first of all, make money from it. I didn't charge a lot. It was like £20 an hour at the time, and I thought that was worth it. I'd never had any experience before, but I knew I could teach people because I had been taught, and I just regurgitated what I'd been taught and how I'd been taught. But that was rewarding. When you see someone take something that you've taught them and something you've done, and they have success from it, and they find happiness from it, I was like, this is wicked. Like, this is awesome. Anyway, I finished uni, and I was like, okay, I better get like an actual job. Like, I could continue to take cash in hand and stuff like that, and just pay for like Jaeger bombs on a Monday night. Amagi nightclub, if any of you guys from the Kingston area, that was my my stomping ground. And Jesus, and yeah, so then I kind of finished uni, graduated with a 2-1, if that means anything to anyone. Ultimately, it doesn't make a blind bit of difference. I didn't get anything from my degree other than my extracurricular activities, which were business, right? I then started working for Apple. At Apple, I learned just such a huge amount of information. They are, one of the biggest companies in the world for a reason. They know what they're doing. And I consumed as much information as possible. I found it fascinating. I really loved learning. And every kind of 6 months, I would, not get a promotion, but I would go into a different role where I'd learn a whole bunch of new stuff. And it got to the point where I was, the sales trainer, I was a technical trainer, I would teach people, and it came back to teaching. It's what I really enjoyed doing, seeing other people's success. Someone, like, for example, you probably won't like me telling you this, but you guys might have known Jordan Platten, who I've had on my channel. He does social media marketing now. I taught him at Apple, so he joined Apple, right? And he was like, as he is now, he was like, all right, guys, he was wanting to be an entrepreneur from the very first day I met him. He was talking about his events business and how that's his end goal. And this was years ago now. And we kind of hit it off straight away, because that's how he introduced himself. He was like, yeah, I'm at Apple, I want to do sales, I want to do this, that, and the other. I'm an entrepreneur, I do events. And so I taught him the sales techniques for Apple. And he may not have liked it, he may think that I was rubbish, but I enjoyed myself, right? I enjoyed myself. And that, again, I didn't use it as a business, right? I just thought that climbing the corporate ladder was the way to make money. Kind of throughout my time working at Apple, I was like, right, I'm gonna go back to music again, okay? I'm gonna go back to teaching music. So I was like, right, I'm gonna start up a music teaching business. However, it's not passive, and I didn't realize that passive was the term I was looking for. I didn't know what I meant, right? But I was like, oh, that's gonna spend too much time. I can't earn enough money to be able to replace my income because of the time I'm spending at work. So I set up a company where, say for example, you want to learn guitar, you go onto the internet, you type in how to learn guitar, it will come up with my website, and I would have tutors in your local area that you can learn from. They're vetted, they're trusted, and everything like that, and I would take money, right? And the problem is there that we set up that company, set up a limited company, set up everything, got like investment, everything, and it didn't work, okay? I wasn't able to make money from it. I wasn't able to make enough where I could leave my job. I wasn't able to make enough so I could pay back the loan. And that was really tough, because if you've ever tried something and you failed, it sucks. Like, it really does suck. And I failed at this, abysmally failed. But there is a silver lining, okay? I failed at the execution of what I was trying to achieve. I didn't get the results, but I learned so much within that kind of 2-year period that have literally, I don't think I would be where I am today without making that failure, because that was influential in my future success, because I realized what not to do. I realized that you really need to focus on income immediately. You need to focus on the customer journey, you need to focus on the service, you need to focus on marketing. And I tried all these things, but I didn't really know, okay? And the reason I didn't know is because I had no one that I could go to and say, how do I exactly do this? How do I make money with this business model? At that time, I didn't use YouTube to learn, right? I didn't really use YouTube at all for that sort of stuff. And I didn't have I had mentors, but I didn't have a mentor that knew exactly this business model. And I think in hindsight, that's why that business failed, okay? It's because I didn't have someone teaching me what to do at every single step of the process. I had someone like my dad who taught me about business, but he'd never done this. He'd never had an online business. He had like consulting businesses. He even had a recruitment company, but he never had this. So it failed, right? I spent 4 years or 5 years on it in total, and it failed. Super demotivated, okay? Super demotivated. I went back into the corporate world. I was like, right, I need to get a bloody job. Need to, get a commission job and make some money. And, I suited up, got my suit on, and I thought that. I genuinely thought, and this is no joke, guys, you might laugh at me, I genuinely thought that if I wore a suit and had like a double Windsor knotted tie and I worked in a skyscraper, I was going to be successful. So far, honestly, literally what I thought. And of course, that was not the case. It didn't work. I was never going to be successful. I was working too much. And that's really when to be honest, I broke, right? I broke. And I was like, this cannot be it. I'm so fed up of working for other people, traveling and not getting the results. Like, how can other people be making like money and I am not? What the hell is it I'm doing? I've like got all this knowledge and experience, right? I know sales like the back of my hand. Like, I know how to do these things. I understand about marketing now. I understand about how to set up a business. How the fuck can I not set up a business and make it successful? And the big thing is that I wasn't copying someone. As soon as I started copying other people and copying their success, it was not overnight success, but it was in a matter of weeks that I went from earning no money to earning hundreds and then thousands. And that was it. That was all I did. I just copied other people that had done it. And it may sound stupid to you right now. It may sound like, oh, you're just like selling the dream, just copy other people. I've been through the shit. I've been through setting up a company and not having someone to copy. It sucks. It's not an enjoyable experience, okay? It's not nice. It's worrying. You spend money and you don't know if the money you're going to be spending, you're going to get a return on. You have no idea. Whereas if you copy someone, they've been and done it, and you just say, when they say, hey, just do this, this is my formula, it works. Here's the other people that have done it. And it does work. That was the only time where I've had a successful business. It's when I copied someone. Since then, I've tried other things, okay? A lot of the stuff I don't share on my YouTube channel because I want to share a lot more successes than failures. But there's a few things that I've started that I've hinted at. Like I wanted to, I haven't actually spoke about this, but I wanted to start up a social media marketing agency. I did do that, and I had a client, but I was spending too much time on it, and it wasn't passive. And I didn't know about outsourcing back then. I didn't know you could do it. I had no idea that it was so cheap, right? You can get it for like $30 or $50 a month to someone to outsource like pretty much all your work. I had no idea because I wasn't copying someone. I just thought, oh, I'm just going to do it, and I'm going to get a client. I'll figure it out along the way because why the hell not? Got the client, it was loads of work, and eventually just stopped working with them. However, if I just outsourced it, I copied other people, I probably would be working with them to this day, and I probably would have scaled that because it was low time input. So then I worked with other people to see like if I could do that again, and I just, because I didn't have the time, I said I didn't have the time, it didn't work for me. So that was one business model that just didn't really work for me because I didn't have the full amount of knowledge and experience, and I didn't really have anyone at the time that knew anything about outsourcing. Now I know Brad Riley. If you guys know him, I've had him on the channel. He's a king outsourcer, and he's taught me so much about outsourcing that now I could go back and I could do it, and I know I could do it, right? I just have no need to at the moment. So those are some of the experiences that I've had, but the big overarching theme is that first of all, you just have to do it, right? It may not be the first thing. If I think back to selling like, little things in the playground and stuff like that, I even used to do this as well. I was a bit hesitant about talking about this, kind of like the the Microsoft Office stuff. I didn't smoke, right? But this was back when the smoking age was 16, right? This is going back, right? Back when the smoking age was 16, I could go and buy cigarettes and I could go and buy tobacco. Now, I didn't smoke, right? I had no need to buy these things, but I knew other people did, right? And they wanted to buy it cheaply. So what I would do is I'd buy tobacco and Rizzler, and I would roll up cigarettes and I would sell them to other people, okay? And the perfect thing was, because I wasn't a smoker, I didn't consume any of the product. So I just sold it, bought it for like, I think you bought a bag, I can't even remember, it was only like a couple of pounds or whatever, and the Rizzlers, like 30p, and I would sell the packets for the same price as a packet of cigarettes. and make money on it. And I did that not for a huge amount of time because it took a lot of time to actually do it, and other things came along. I again wanted to get drunk and stuff. But that was something that, something I did that is, probably shouldn't have been doing that. Again, I probably allegedly, it might be a story, guys. This might be a fictional story. I just got to cover myself. But it was good. It was good fun, and I don't think if I hadn't have done those things, who knows if I'd been here in this position right now. But I think you just have to try stuff. You have to learn how to make money and ultimately learn what doesn't work. Because through learning what doesn't work, you then learn what not to do and what to do. The best thing that you can do, hands down, this is when my life completely changes, when I copied someone else, right? Like I said, I've tried to start businesses in the past, like proper businesses. They didn't work because I didn't have someone to go to. Have a mentor, take courses, read books, listen to audiobooks, but don't get to the point where you're in analysis paralysis, where you're thinking about it too much. You're like, oh, I have to research this. That was weird. When you have to research stuff too much, just go out there and do it, and be okay with making mistakes, right? That's a big thing. If you make a mistake, it's all right. You're going to learn from it. That is my big takeaway. So there we go. There are a few businesses, not all of them businesses, but there's a few ventures that I started, failed, and that got me to the point where I am today. And again, the moral of the story is just copy someone. Honestly, just recycle what other people have done, because it's going to work. Honestly, it's going to work. If you do the same thing that someone else has done, there's no reason why you can't have the same, if not similar, results to them. I hope you have enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you smash that like button. If you've got any questions for me, leave them down in the comments below, and I'll see you all very soon. Bye-bye.